Welcome to the Angler Talk Podcast with Chris and Aaron. Brought to you by FishingMagicianTV.com.
What is up, everybody? Here we are again with another episode of Angler Talk. How's it going, bro?
Good, buddy. Good, man. I'm looking forward to another episode, dude. I mean, I know I sound like a broken record, but some of these guys that we're actually interviewing are just like top-notch captains or people in the industry, dude, that either I'm looking up to or, hopefully projecting to be like one day, dude. So, I mean, it's friggin' awesome.
Yeah, man. Some of these guys get us really, really pumped and gives us that, why don't we do this? You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason, it's freaking awesome. So this week, we're going to take a little bit of a different turn, get away from the saltwater a little bit, get into freshwater. We're going to talk to Captain Scott Tarnoski out of Sotus Point, New York, Oswego area. They fish Lake Ontario for some pretty big fish, man. We're talking about salmon, trout, bass, you name it, man. They got it up there. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and guys, we're not talking about, your average brook or brown that's being caught in little creeks and rivers, man, the stockies. We're talking about these 10, 15, 20-pound bulls. I mean, just, on the wall, you caught a fish of a lifetime, and this man gives you all the information on where to catch them, how he's catching them, and how to book a trip with him. I mean, it sounds like, Chris, that we honestly found a diamond in the rough of a great group of captains that are in this area willing to family fun charter, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's a totally different fishery than what we're used to, but I mean, just listening to everything, and it's just wow. It gets me pumped and it gets me wanting to go up there. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys. So here we are with our interview with Captain Scott. Hope you guys enjoy. And here we are here with Captain Scott Tarnoski. How we doing, bud?
Doing all right, Chris. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I can't complain, man.
Good.
So you're up there on the big lake up in Oswego, New York, right?
Yeah, we're at Sotus Point, just a little bit west of Oswego.
Yeah, you're fishing big old Lake Ontario.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So how do you like it up there, man? I know you used to have your charter down here in Jersey doing the saltwater fishing. What makes it different up there?
It's just a completely different world. I grew up on the salt down there. Came up here like 8 years ago at this point, caught my first king salmon, and literally went back to Forked River. We unloaded everything that we had saltwater wise and moved up here. We started fishing these kings. They're just an awesome fish. That's
awesome, man. So it's like, what is your obviously the king salmon is a big part of your fishery, but what else is up there on Lake Ontario?
So in the springtime, we start running our trips this coming Thursday, and then April, May, and a little bit into June, we primarily target brown trout and lake trout, and some king salmon will mix into that bunch. They got a couple out front today, nice. But we just target shallow water for them. We're fishing anywhere from 8 foot of water to like 40, trolling the shoreline for them.
Well, that's awesome, man. Brown trout, that's a very beautiful fish. Those patterns are amazing.
Yeah, they are. We get a unique blend of them up here. We get a lot of these fish that don't run the rivers. They stay really super silver, almost like a sea run brown trout would.
Wow.
And then the ones that we're getting dropping out of the river now because they're up there eating all the steelhead eggs. Those are just those beautiful bronze, big black red dots all over them. Nice fish.
And, Scott, is it primarily trolling that you do for these fish, or is it
100%?
100% troll, right?
Yeah, it's very, very similar to being out in the ocean and hitting the edge of that blue water. You can, you would be able to set up, but the problem is our expanse. I mean, our lake is 190 miles long by 65, 70 miles wide. And these fish are just where the bait is. So you can set up and, try to jig them or whatever. And it's a lost cause because they may be 3 miles down the shoreline. Yeah. So we're just kind of constantly stay roaming for them.
That's wild that you said they're out front. I mean, Chris, you think about this lake, dude, and it literally reminds me of an ocean, man. I mean, it's so freaking huge. It's got to be a daunting task of trying to find bait on that lake, man. How did you transition from striper fishing, offshore fishing in Jersey to being able to really, dial in on the bait and the schools of fish the way that you have?
It's actually zero difference. And that's what a lot of guys, when I got started up here, they're like, how are you doing this so quickly? And very, very, very similar to tuna fishing. Very similar. I mean, you're leaving in the morning, you're looking at the water, you're looking at water temps. The big thing up here is this lake is so clear. You want to find colored water. You want like that greenish or almost a brown mud line along the shoreline. You want to work that pocket where the Niagara River comes in. It leaves. If you look at an aerial of the whole lake, you'll see the Niagara plume that comes in. It's just this big green swath of water that blows around with the wind. That's that nutrient-rich water. You find that, you found your bait, you found your salmon and browns and everything else.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what kind of bait are we talking about up there? What are they feeding on?
Alewife herring, mostly. Very similar to, well, they're the same, only they're not a saltwater species, but just like what come into like the Navesink and Deal Pond and all that we use for the stripers down there.
Wow. That's awesome, man. I mean, these brown trout I'm hearing about up there, I mean, your average size is, I think you told me 5 to 6 pounds. I mean, I'm not a freshwater guy, but I would imagine this is a freshwater fisherman's paradise, is Lake Ontario.
It is. It's truly, truly world class. I mean, I was watching a couple guys that got their boats in before me. They had their first trips today, and they're coming in and they've got boxes of brown trout with like a 4 or 5 pound average, and then a couple big 11 and 15s mixed in with that. So
Goodness.
It's not like going to the Ramapo River down there and catching the little stockies and stuff. It's a blast. It really is.
Man. So you guys got big lake trout up there. You got big brown trout. You got the salmon. What else runs through that lake? How's the bass fishery over there?
The smallmouth fishery is absolutely unbelievable. It's probably, I would safely say, it's one of the most untapped resources for bass fishermen in the country.
Wow.
Like these next couple weeks, and it never fails, we'll be trolling for browns, and we're pulling 4 or 5 inch stick baits and spoons up along the shoreline out on planer boards, and board will go off. You're like, man, that's a gigantic brown. And then you get it to the boat and it's a 7 pound smallmouth, 8 pound smallmouth. I mean, that's fat. They're just big, fat, just pigs of small
butterballs up there, man. That's awesome.
And we get some, not exotic to you guys or to this area, but we get like a lot of bowfin in the lake here.
Oh, sweet.
They're getting burbot in here. We have, all northern pike fishery in the bays is very, very good.
Yeah.
So it's a mixed bag. I mean, it's a great destination for guys to come up because they could do the lake thing with us. And if they pull their smaller tin boats up, or they pull kayaks or whatever up, they have, the big bays and everything around here to extend their days. And it's just a multi-species fishery. It's phenomenal.
So, Scott, I was going to ask you that. Say, let's put it into play. Say me and Chris are jumping in a truck and we're heading your way. What does an average day or an average charter with you look like? Like, what time are we meeting on the dock? What gear should we be preparing ourselves with, if any? And then how long is, the charter primarily throughout the day? Is it half day, full day? What are we looking forward to?
So I try to cater to what the guys need. My preferred trip that we run is a 6-hour trip. Just because it gives us, I shy away from the 4 hours because this lake can be finicky and sometimes it takes us a while to find the fish. I might have to make a 15, 20 mile run up lake, go find them. And I don't want somebody giving me their hard earned money for a boat ride,
Yeah.
So we try to run, we'll do 6 or we'll do 8 hours. Sometimes they're having such fun out there, they'll extend it, the trip and just pay by the hour kind of thing. But now you guys roll into town usually the night before. We have some great little accommodations in this town. They come in the night before. We meet at the dock at daybreak. We try to get out past the jetty rocks and the lighthouse as the sun's coming up. And it depends. We either start our troll right there if that's where the fish are, or, we run up to an hour sometimes. We set up. We usually run like a 14 rod spread. We run outriggers or planer boards.
Yeah.
Very similar to fishing the blue water down with you guys, spreader bars, whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll get the lines out. It's all of our fishery up here is all controlled depth fishing. So like y'all in the salt don't really use downriggers a whole lot. I used to for stripers there, but we fish, we'll fish down deep rods with the downriggers, and then we fish a lot of lead core line and copper line that has varied sink rates to them. And it depends. I mean, this time of the year, we're catching Atlantic salmon, king salmon, coho salmon, brown trout. They're all in that same 12 to 15 foot water. So it's a lot of flatline stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
As the season progresses, we will go out. By midsummer, we're fishing 800 foot of water out there. So down like 200 foot, 150, 110 foot. It's all
Scott, you were literally able to take almost everything you had from back north, man, tuna fishing and offshore fishing, and kind of like convert it over into being your prime Ontario lake guide. I mean, really,
it helped tremendously. The first year that we had moved into Oswego, one of my friends behind me was like, "So where did you fish on the lake before this?" And I'm like, "Never have, dude." I said, a couple months ago was my first gig at it. And he said, but I tell these guys up here that don't have the ocean experience, trolling is trolling is trolling. And it doesn't matter what the target species is, as long as you know what their routine is, it's just letting the boat do the work for you,
Absolutely, man. And just to hear the way you're talking about it, I mean, it's kind of crazy to hear that a lake goes 800 foot deep. That's kind of crazy right there. And
we get our clients all the time to look at my Garmin and look at the sonar and say, "What's that 745 up there?" So that's how deep of water we're over. This look of panic comes on their face, like they're in an airplane with one engine turning off.
Yeah, it's like, wow, are we going to the Mariana Trench in Lake Ontario? Like, what's going on over there?
And that's even down to that. It's the same thing here. It's our deep hole pockets. It's I'm going out to the trench, or if we're going out to the Canadian border, it's we're going to go out and run the fence today. It's all just replace Tom's Canyon with the Niagara Bar. It's all the same relative theory.
Another thing that I heard you say, which I actually like that a lot, because a lot of captains, majority of captains that I know won't give you that option, is to extend the trip while you're already on the boat.
Yep.
And that to me, that's a game changer, because we all know how fishing is. It can be slow at times, and then a tide change or a little bit of current to move, and it'll just turn on, and then you're just like, I got 20 minutes left.
Yep.
That's actually a really cool thing that you do, giving them that option to extend the trip while they're already on the boat. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're out with me and we fish, say 6 hours, and I'm looking at my watch and it's time to go, and we have maybe 3 fish in the box the whole time, and I got 5 guys on, and also one rod jumps and another. Now we're tripled up, and then we get one, and then one of the planer rods takes off. I can't say to those guys at that point, and a lot of guys will, but I can't say, all right, let's pack it up and go. I mean, these guys are coming up from Virginia, from Maryland, we had North Carolina last year.
Yeah.
They're not driving 8 hours up for a boat ride. They could do that out of Oregon Inlet if they want,
Absolutely.
And we want our people back. I mean, I don't advertise. I've been blessed that my word of mouth business has taken off for us, and I just think it's little tweaks like that keep people coming back,
Absolutely.
Yeah. No,
definitely got me wanting to go, that's for sure.
Oh, I was just about to say, he can add Clark to that list, dude.
Well, maybe you could talk him into it. I've been twisting Chris's arm for 3 years now.
I've been trying to get up there, man. I really have.
Unreal, dude. I can't believe.
Definitely going to make it happen this year.
This man's been talking to you about this, Chris, for 3 years, and he's not told me about this. Listen, I'll tell you where my brown trout and kind of, lake trout started. When I was young, we used to fish Potter County, Pennsylvania, and we'd go up every year religiously for trout season. And, we'd fish the rivers, and you'd lucky if you caught a 3-pound, brown trout or a brook or something that was palomino, but as I got older, I started finding these reservoirs in New Jersey. I can't remember the name of the reservoir, but there was this really deep reservoir, 200 some foot, and we would go out. What was it?
I was just about to say that, Round Valley.
Round Valley. It's exactly what it was, right? So we'd go out, I mean, middle of friggin' wintertime, dude, just enough, like, water to be able to get out there in a boat. And buddies that religiously fish that lake, we would drop cans of corn onto the bottom, right? And I'm thinking these guys are freaking crazy, right? Dropping cans of corn to chum up the trout, and then they're using cocktail shrimp, dude, that you buy at a store to catch these trout, and they're bailing them, Chris. So that was where I got, like, my mind opened up to the possibilities with fishing these grand lakes, and all what I thought was reality is out the window at that point, because I mean we're fishing with cocktail shrimp, for God's sake. So I can see how trolling would be amazing, man.
Yeah, it's a completely. I grew up, cut my teeth. What we did on Round Valley is just a mini version of what we do here.
Right.
It completely different. I mean, these fish are they're unbelievable up here. They really are. And fight and size, taste, everything. It's just a wonderful fishery. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been locked into a king salmon in the springtime.
No.
It's the freshwater equivalent to a bluefin. I mean, tackle wise compared, we're trolling them with 15 to 20, 25 pound gear.
Yeah.
These fish hit. By the time you get it out of the rod holder, they got 400 feet of line burned off the reel.
Ooh.
And you get them back to the boat, then they'll turn, take you out another 600 feet back to the boat. Wow. They're awesome fish. It's a great fishery.
Scott, you got the hairs on the back of my neck curled up right now. I got the itch for sure, man. I'll make some phone calls after this show tonight. And,
we're all done. I'll get you a date. I'm running out. I'm booked up through weekends through the year, but we can definitely get you up here on a weekday for sure.
Oh, definitely, man. I'm down to go. This is why we got 6 days at work.
Plane too and come up.
Yeah, Aaron's gonna be up here in June, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, we're doing a Cape Cod trip in June. So we're going to fish the canal for a couple of days. But listen, Cape Cod's a little closer to you than I am right now.
I was going to say, why don't you fish the canal for a couple of days and just drive across Massachusetts? You'll be here in 5 hours.
Yeah, I'm doing it. As long as you got a window for us, buddy, I'm there, man.
I'll make a window for you. Absolutely.
Oh, man, this sounds awesome. I'm getting excited. I got the itch. I'm going to do my little pookie scratch right now. So, I got the itch. I'm going to go catch some fish, man.
Absolutely.
Wait. So, tell us more about Oswego, New York. Like, obviously, it's not a place where everybody really knows. So it's like, what is so good about that area? Obviously, besides the fishing, because the fishing sounds out of this world. But like, what is Oswego like really produce for somebody?
Yeah, Oswego itself is a college town. It's got a pretty abundant nightlife to it. It's a bigger city for up here. What they would call a city. It's probably like the size of like a New Brunswick back in New Jersey.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff to do. It's a fun area. Now, where we moved the boat out of Oswego, we came up lake a little bit. We're about 30 miles up lake in Sotus Point. And our two towns, Oswego and Sotus, are completely drastic. Sotus is just like a little tiny seaport. We have maybe 600 year-round residents, and in the summertime, it's just like a Jersey Shore town. It jumps up to 2,000-3,000.
Wow.
So the whole area outside of both Oswego and Sotus Point is nothing but apple orchards and soybean fields, in the middle of nowhere. But we moved back down to Oswego in the summer as the salmon migrate down that way. But we just found that up here in Sotus Point, we have a much more rounded fishery. The fishing, Oswego is a great fishery mid-August to September. Out here, we get great fishing from April through August, So
just in that radius, you got great fishing all year long, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. And that all deals with, we have abundance of rivers come in. So again, it's just the nutrients that bring the bait fish in that, keep them here.
And I'm sure, Scott, you were taking that half an hour ride. I mean, probably almost an hour ride on the boat sometimes to get up to that area. So, I'm sure that's the time, right?
Yeah. And I give my clients the option to, you know, some of them don't want to go. Some of them want to get fishing. And I will tell them very honestly in the beginning of the day, here's your options. We could go pick away, and it's going to be a slow pick, but we could start right out of the lighthouse. It hasn't been great. I said, or we could go for, you know, an hour-long boat ride today, and I could give you 4 hours of quality fishing instead of 6-7 hours of a pick.
Yeah.
And I just kind of let them decide, you know. And but a lot of that also has to do with our weather up here, because this lake is 10 times worse than the ocean is.
Right.
Storm-wise, I mean, we build 8-10-foot seas out here in the blink of an eye, and they're one on top of the other. Where, you know, the ocean, you get that slow. Like here, if it goes 6 foot, we're not going fishing that day, 'cause it's just like a washing machine. Down at a Barnegat Light, and we'd be like, it'd be 8-foot rollers. All right, let's go. We're going 60 miles to the chicken, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I honestly hate that freaking inlet.
Uh,
Barnegat Light is just it's always bad. You know, it's never smooth sailing out of there.
No.
and
Now,
that kind of that inlet. A lot of these guys up here bust my chops because they're like, the fan's blowing, it's rough. I know Ransom's going out, but I'm used to that kind of water, you know. So
Exactly.
But we don't do that. Like, we'll do that for tournaments and whatnot. We don't with our clients. We kind of, which I really appreciate up here. It's a little different than the salt. We have a group captains meeting in the morning at like 4:30 and look at the conditions, and you know, the majority vote wins whether we're going or not, because I don't want to make a safety call for my clients because they want to go anyway, you know. And then 3 of the boats next to me go out, and they're looking at me like, well, why couldn't we go out? You know, what, did you just not want to fish today? Or
That's really got that. You guys, so what do you guys do? Meet at like a lodge or like a coffee shop?
Yeah. So all of our marinas are kind of centrally located, so we'll kind of meet there. We'll go over the weather for the day and just make a group decision. Either we're shutting all the 12 boats out of the port, we're not going, or I think, you know, we could go and try, and if it gets bad, we'll just call the trip early. But
no, that's awesome, dude, that you guys got camaraderie like that, dude, because, you know, being from New Jersey, they would watch you tie the boat up and get off and gas it out the inlet just to be able to say they did it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. We don't have this port is just, I mean, these captains are absolutely phenomenal up here. We all work together. We're on the radio all day with each other, calling each other into the fish, because we want our clients to get them, because then they're going to come back to Sotus. You know, I see some of these other ports, they work against each other, and it's all no different than Jersey saltwater drama. You know, it's a lot easier when we all work together with it. But
for sure.
And to hear stuff like that makes me, you know, that makes me feel better, because it's like, out on the water, all we have is each other.
Right.
And, you know, the Coast Guard is always going to be our flying angels, but, you know, on the water, we got to look out for each other. And safety, in my opinion, is the number one rule on any charter.
Yep.
You know, and for captains to take that serious is something that I respect and I commend, and you know, that's something I like.
We do. Listen, we're all doing it. I mean, it's my livelihood, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm not taking a family with 2 young kids who have never been on a boat before. I want them to enjoy it. I want them bringing their kids back to me when, you know, 20 years from now. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. It's all about that experience and just, you know, having a great day on the water, as opposed to just saying, oh, yeah, we're not on a boat. You know what I'm saying? You want them to be like, oh, man, I had this great day on this charter with Captain Scott. You know, that's what it's all about, you know?
And that's and this isn't at all, you know, patting myself on the back, because a lot of our other captains, like this port, we don't really advertise at all. I mean, I don't have a website. I have a Facebook page. I have an Instagram. But it is 90% every year return clients. And then it's word of mouth. You know, it's those clients tell somebody who wants to get in on it. And that last year we had a real tough year lake-wide. The bite was just horrendous. But you look at the books, and I mean, I've got charters I felt horrible bringing back in. And we get back to the dock. They say, hey, here's my deposit for the same weekend next year.
Yeah.
You know, you're collectively, between you and your mate, you're doing something right.
Well, it's also because I'm guessing that more people are starting to understand that fishing is fishing and not catching. You know, every day is different. There could be a day where you'll put 600 pounds of meat on the deck. There'll be a day where you put maybe 2 or 3 fish. You know, it's just that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
and that
listen, to
the
be
thing.
buddy, the level of integrity that you have, dude, is something that I value super, super close to myself. I haven't heard one captain say since we've been doing this that, and nothing against them at all, but I haven't heard one person other than yourself say that you've given money back when weather has been, not safe to go out. I literally just did this a week ago. I turned a guy down. He paid his deposit. I said, look, man, I feel like crap because I want to take you out and I want to catch you the fish of a lifetime, but I'm not going. I wouldn't go out. So I wouldn't take your money just for a boat ride. Exactly what you said, I said to him. So I'm like, I mean, I got my guy in Ontario right now. I will tell you that.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And there's a lot of good captains up here. You know, I think a huge part of our return business also, which I know you guys know from being on the boats down there, who you pick as your deckhand is second to none. I mean, I am truly blessed to have the guys on the back of my boat that I do. I've got a guy who's been with me for a real long time. We just took on another guy for weekdays because my main guy, he works, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He's got open, but other than that, he's got a quote unquote real job. I love, and I know I've made the right decisions there when my clients call and they say, well, is Dan going to be available that weekend? Because we want to fish with him as much as we do you. And
awesome.
The whole operation is just perfect like that.
Yeah, deckhand is definitely a very important thing. It's a reflection of the captain. Shows, they're primarily the ones that's with the customer the entire day. Giving them the bait, rigging the lines, unhooking fish. So definitely having a great deckhand like Dan or whatnot is always a very important factor. So that's definitely a good blessing for you to have that.
Up here, literally in like 6 hours time, if we're running, say, a 12-rod spread, he'll easily swap 150 lures in that 6 hour period, to try to get the program of what's going on.
That boy's working.
No, they do. And I mean, we're just, again, like this port's just blessed with the other guys will say the same thing. I mean, we're just a fishing community up here,
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Sounds amazing, Scott. It really does, man. I'm looking forward to Ontario as much as I'm looking forward to the canal now, dude. I mean, if you had to say I was a guy, I contacted you on your Facebook page and you're telling me you're booking up quick, and I asked you what would be the prime time of the year, prime season for me to get up there and try to catch the biggest brown, the biggest lake, or if there's different seasons for them species, what would you suggest to me would be my ultimate window to book you?
April through early June, for big, for brown trout. Now, June, July, you got to suffer through a pick, but we get some mega 20-pound browns up here. July is a good month, but again, it's not like it is now. I mean, right now, if we were going to go out tomorrow, we'd have triples going, we'd have quad rods going. It becomes total mayhem. But as the season progresses, most of the guys are out fishing for, salmon. Like July is your salmon month. End of July, early August. You want to catch big giant kings. Absolutely. That's your time. April through June, we kind of get our quick bite with the browns. We do get some really big browns. Overlooked here is our lake trout fishery. I mean, we're talking lake trout up to 24 pounds,
Wow.
May and June is phenomenal for that. Around June, like when you guys would be here, our offshore steelhead bite starts really heating up. We get a lot of Atlantic salmon at that time will start showing up. So,
This sounds like the perfect birthday gift to myself.
Yeah.
Up in August,
That's I'm telling you, if you want, like last year in August, we decked our biggest to date on the boat. We ended up with the 35.5-pound salmon. It was just an absolute tank.
Scott, you know what it sounds like? You know what it sounds like to me? And Chris, this sounds like while we're waiting for striped bass migration to really kick off. This man's got triples and quads going off the back of the boat. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking my wheels are running, thinking about if we could plan out like a month and a half, 2 months of continuous trips with him and then get back on the migration of stripers, we'd never be sleeping. I mean, it was just, constant fishing, dude.
Aaron,
Yeah,
I'm about to go gas up the car and just take a drive tonight.
Let's go. The boat's floating. I'm itching to get out there. Today was a brutal day because the boat went in. We've had snow. It was snowing up here today. It's just the weather's been brutal. They finally got the boat in, and I had deliberately over the winter not booked this weekend because this weekend always sucks weather-wise here. But I waited till next weekend to book, and these guys got out fishing today, and they're coming in. I've just been antsy, like pacing the house, taking a ride here. I want to get out there bad. But Aaron, awesome. I'm telling you, Aaron, it's up to you because I've been begging Chris now for 3 years to come up here.
I'm coming.
I got him.
You have my word. I'm coming.
Right. Yeah. Good deal. Chris, bring the camera. You shoot some video, everything.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm bringing all 14 GoPros and the big boy camera up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, Scott.
Man,
Aaron, we're fishing a 31-foot Tierra with the 12.5-foot beam on it. It's comfortable. So come on up.
I was going to ask you the question of, the biggest fish, but you already answered that, with lake trout up to 24 pounds and browns 20 and a 35-pound salmon. I mean, just from the stories that I've heard about salmon, and everybody says the same thing, equivalent to saltwater, it's like a bluefin.
Yep.
I can't imagine a 35-pound salmon on a light tackle. That's got to be freaking fun.
The rod he landed that one on, we're fishing. The main line was 20-pound Berkeley Trilene as a medium action rod. It took him a good solid 35 minutes to get it to the back of the boat.
Wow.
Yeah. I like this,
Super
man.
game, I can't even stress enough. I wish I could make this happen sooner than June, dude. I really do, man. I'm looking forward to getting out and doing a species or catching a species that like was really big in my childhood growing up, Chris.
Yep.
Like it was something we all looked forward to when trout season opened up to get, one of them big rounds or one of the big brooks. But I mean, it's going to be a mounter with you, man. It sounds like it's going to be something.
And it's not just, again, me. It's our whole community. We send a lot of brown trout to taxidermists up here, man. Brown trout and salmon, we keep them busy with them. So,
man, that's awesome. Well, speaking of taxidermy, I mean, I've heard some crazy prices back in the day about taxidermies. What is a decent taxidermy charge or something like that?
Up here, I know they're getting close to $22 an inch right now.
Oof. Yeah. I mean, I've heard some people paying $3,500 for a mount, and it's like, dude, that's like 2.5 months of rent. Like, come on, man.
It's hard. It's hard. But Scott, we got a guy here. I think he's in Marathon, and I'm not going to plug his name or anything, but we have one of the world's like renowned taxidermists here, and it's not only the way that he presents the mount, but the art that he does on it. It's not like a replica. This thing looks better the way he does it than when you pulled it out of the freaking water. It's like, it's unreal. He's got all his stuff in Bass Pros and Cabela's and like, so I get it. At that point, if you're getting a mount to that quality, I understand it, but it's a hard pill to swallow.
I try to convince my clients. I try to fully convince them to go replica.
Yeah.
I said, listen, you're spending the money for the day for the trip. You brought coolers with ice bags. You want to bring your fish home. It's some of these replica mounts. They end up looking as good as ones do.
Yeah, for
Absolutely. Sure. And Aaron, I know exactly who you're talking about because when I was chartering out there, I sold quite a few for him.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful quality stuff, man. I mean, it's unreal, dude. He does. Scott, you still there? All right.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, no, he does displays like with crappie coming up and sucking a worm off the surface, like has the surface of the water with a bobber. You know what I mean? Like crazy mount, man. Yeah, it's epic stuff. But Scott, I mean, this interview has been great, buddy. Where do you have a phone number, or I know you said you have an Instagram and Facebook, but I mean, you're more than welcome to plug a phone number and anything else you got here to let everybody know.
Sure, man. It's 908-442-6038. That's my direct line, or King's Ransom Sport Fishing on Facebook or Instagram, and hit the message button, shoot me a message. I'll send you out a calendar, date wise, what I got open. And
I will plug a link at the bottom of the description of this video so everybody can definitely check you out, man.
I'm very, very, very big, dude. Our charter is very big on getting families out, first-time families out, getting kids introduced. It's what we're all about here. So this fishery and fishing in general, dude, has molded my life and been second to none the most influential thing in my life. I thank God I had parents and grandparents that took a kid fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
And this day and age, dude, everybody's all caught up in the rat race and work and everything. And if I could get a kid out here and put him on one of those 5-pound browns and see that smile explode, my trip has been made right there,
That's
Scott,
something.
what's the saying that you said, buddy? I read it on the Facebook page. Fishing cures world's. What was it?
It cures the world's problems. And I mean, Cuomo shut us down as soon as we were able to go. It was right in the middle of the pandemic. We're bringing people out there. Dude, you just see these people who haven't worked, haven't got paid, to the point where we were like, listen, most of us adjust our prices up every year. We were adjusting down just to get people out. Once we break that lighthouse and the sunrise, their world's problems just disappear. And even if it's for a 6-hour escape, we've done our job. So
that's awesome.
Freaking
buddy.
awesome.
Yeah.
And Scott, man, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, man. We appreciate you having. And to everybody who's watching and listening, check out the description below and contact Captain Scott Tarnoski. He will get you on the fish for sure. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me.
I'm gonna see both of you guys in a couple weeks. So, Aaron, hold them to it.
You might see me this weekend, man.
I'll get him.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Oh man, that was great to hear from Captain Scott, man. That dude's got me pumped up wanting to go up there. I'm seriously thinking about getting in the car tomorrow.
Yeah,
taking a few hour ride.
We're gonna have to, and you know what? Not only for us, but for the guys that are actually local to him or that are only a couple hours away. I mean, guys, you'd be crazy right now not to take advantage of this bite. His boat literally just got in the water. He's got guys that are out there literally telling him what's going on the water, telling me and everybody else that the bite is fire. So get up there, book this guy while it's still hot, man. He's got.
Dude, I'm still reeling over the fact that he said a 20-pound brown trout.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the few freshwater fish that is on my bucket list because the patterns of that fish is it's just a beautiful fish.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine what a 20-pounder looks like. I mean, up until now, pretty much, I've the biggest trout I've heard of is like 7 pounds.
Right. And Chris, like I told him, I mean, I'd go up and fish Potter County, Pennsylvania when I was a kid, opening day of trout, and we'd have stringers full of browns and brooks and rainbows, but they were like a pound at a piece or like 2.5 pounds. Like, a big one was 5 pounds, and that was like you made bait shop record kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Not no friggin' 20-pounder, man. Like,
yeah, that's definitely something. That's definitely something you want to mount on the wall. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So, just in case, guys, if you made it this far, obviously you're liking what you're watching. So hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, smash some thumbs up. If you're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or any other streaming service, leave a review. Let us know what's going on. It helps us out, and it helps other fishermen find us.
For sure. And guys, I can't stress enough. We meet a lot of great people along the way. And just so happen to be one of them great people is Extreme Bait Tanks. So the owner of Extreme Bait Tanks has supported us and has taken care of us with some products. And when I tell you his product is like bar none the best on the market right now, I'm not saying that because this man's supporting us. I'm saying it because it's facts. So, if you're in need of a bait tank or any kind of bait supplies at all, please check out Extreme Bait Tanks, man. He'll have it for you.
Yeah, he sent me a pump that it looks like a freaking amplifier from, when we used to like soup up our cars and all that. We used to put these big sound systems in. When I got the air pump in the mail, I looked at the size of the box and I'm like, that's an air pump? And I opened it up and I was just like, whew, this is a bad boy right here.
Yeah, man.
I know it's definitely going to be pumping some flow.
Chris, I can't stress enough, and all the listeners out there, man, his products are literally made to be beat to death. And it's like this man has done all of the testing ahead of time to where he builds in second pumps, he builds in second lights. I mean, he hardwires secondary wiring to where, like, if anything goes wrong, he's got it already prepared for you to where you don't lose the bait and you don't lose the experience you're having on the water, man.
Yeah, man, that's freaking awesome. Big shout out to David from Extreme Bait Takes. We appreciate you, brother. So that's all we got for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And tight lines. We're out.
See you guys.
Peace.
I challenge the